الحمد لله وسلم وبارك على نبينا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. يروي الإمام مسلم في صحيحه عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم. The hadith is also in the collection of Muslim, also narrated by Abu Hurairah like yesterday. And this is within the theme of outreach. We'll go on for another week or so. This hadith is quite famous. If you don't know it word for word, then you'd for sure know the basic idea of it. It's something that's quite well established within our faith, but I think it's important to maybe reflect on it for a moment and how it plays into this, the concept of outreach and da'wah, which we're trying to thematize this month based upon. This is what he said, عليه الصلاة والسلام. قال من دعا إلى هدى كان له من الأجر مثل أجور من تبعه لا ينقص ذلك من أجورهم شيئا ومن دعا إلى ضلالة كان عليه من الإثم مثل آثام من تبعه لا ينقص ذلك من آثامهم شيئا. So he said عليه الصلاة والسلام, anyone who calls towards guidance, دعا إلى هدى, someone who's trying to encourage people to adhere to guidance, or he's showing people what guidance is, he's trying to get them to accept it, then this person will get ajr, which is equal, مثل أجور من تبعه, is equal to the rewards, you'll get reward, that is equal to the rewards of those who follow his call or listen to his call, without that affecting the reward that they're going to get in their lives. Meaning whatever they're doing, they're not sharing their rewards with the person that called them. They will get their rewards fully or more, whatever they deserve. But he will get. It's not a cut paste. It's a copy paste. That's what it kind of works out for this. And then he adds, عليه الصلاة والسلام, قال ومن دعا إلى ضلالة, and anyone who calls towards misguidance, this person will take the ithm, the sin, will take the punishment that is similar to the punishments of all the people who follow his call, without that affecting the punishment that they will get for doing what they did. Now, this establishes a very important law within Islam. This is very important, isn't it? Whatever it is that you influence people to do, you are partially responsible for it. Whatever it is that you influence people to do, you are partially responsible for it. When I say partially, it's because he said عليه الصلاة والسلام, دون أن ينقص ذلك من أجورهم دون أن ينقص ذلك من آثامهم. Use the same phrase twice. And it won't affect the ajr that the people who followed are going to get. It won't affect the ithm that the people are following are going to get. So you're not fully responsible. If you were fully responsible, then the other person wouldn't get anything. It's just you did this, so they don't really matter. But no, they will get their full reward, or it will have their full punishment. You're just their partner. So it's a partial responsibility, but it's still there. You're still carrying this. And this is important because we don't spend enough time thinking about that. We really don't reflect on that concept enough. That we're responsible for what we do, we're also responsible for the outcomes of what we do and the effect it will have on other people. Sometimes, this is what he said عليه الصلاة والسلام, hadith in Bukhari, قال ما من نفس مسلمة أو نفس تقتل إلا وكان على ابن آدم الأول كفل من وزرها قد سن القتل. No person is murdered until the day of judgment except the first son of Adam will carry a specific amount of that punishment because he started it. Because murder was not known amongst human beings until he murdered his brother. But once he did it and it was now a thing that people understood and they comprehended and they saw the example of, it happened again and again, and he continues to carry that ithm wal iyadhu billah. That's what he said alayhi salatu wasalam. So it's not a joke. So when we say things or we do things or we live in a certain way or we try to convince people to do things in a certain way, be very careful. It's not just about what you're doing. You're going to carry however this affects people moving on. It's a scary thing, and it's also an extremely uplifting thing at the same time. It's beautiful if you use it for the right reason. If you take on good attributes and good traits, and if you live a life of piety and closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you call people towards that through your words and through your behaviors, and you try to point them towards guidance with all your might, every person that follows you, every person who listens to you, you're taking on another lifetime of ajr. You're taking on another lifetime of ajr just by doing that. So just never forget, especially if you're sincere. Especially if you're doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not for the sake of having followers. If you're doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you're just taking a lifetime of good deeds because you're calling people in the right direction. But vice versa. It works in the opposite direction as well. And who can say for sure that at some point in their life, they did not influence someone negatively? Right? Can you put your hand up and say, I never did this in my life? I never made a mistake. I never said something or behaved in a way that ended up influencing someone in a negative way and caused them to go in the wrong direction. See, when you do that, how do you fix it? How can you fix it? Let's say you did that 10 years ago. You're in a wrong state of mind, wrong place in your life. You offered someone a cigarette. Let's just do that. Yeah, here, try this. They take the first this, and then now they're a two pack a day smoker. You stopped. Like that was the last day. You did it once. You offered it to someone. Never did it again. How do you fix this now? You're gonna go. What are you gonna do? There's nothing you can do. Khalas, this is done. The damage is done. Even if you go and try to stop. Yeah, Habibi, I was wrong. I was wrong. I know. I'm not doing it for you. I know, but I started this. It's gonna be on me. Yes, it is. So the only way out is to do the opposite. That's the only way out. So they cancel each other out. You do a lot of khayr. Id'u ila huda. Call people to guidance a lot. It'll cancel out all the wrong stuff that you did. There's no other way. Like, you have to call people to guidance. Because for sure you've influenced people negatively. For sure. It's impossible not to. Unless you lived in a bubble where you spoke to no one for the first 35 years of your life. It's impossible that you did not at some point point someone in the wrong direction. It's impossible, because we all struggled and we made mistakes in life, and some people may have looked up to it at the moment when we were making the mistake and they decided that's a good idea and they went ahead and you didn't even know about it. So the only way out of this mess is to call people to guidance. And the more you do, the more people will follow you and they'll cancel each other out. And hopefully the ajr of the people who follow you more than the dhanb of the people who don't. And that's a whole other story, but it's something at least worth thinking of. And I'm trying to convince you that it's worth your time to do this, inshallah, and to call people to the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the privilege, wallahi, the privilege of guiding, taking people to his path. Wallahi, the privilege, the blessing, the bounty, the love comes from Him that allows us to be someone who calls someone else to his path and they listen. That is by far the highest rank that you can hope for. That's the rank of the anbiya. That's the rank of the mursaleen. That's the rank of the awliya and ulama. Only them. They're the ones who do this. So if you're granted that love from Allah to do it, then you've been granted a lot of khair in your life. يروي الإمام مسلم في صحيحه عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم من دعا إلى هدى كان له من الأجر مثل أجور من تبعه لا ينقص ذلك من أجورهم شيئا ومن دعا إلى ضلالة كان عليه من الإثم مثل آثام من تبعه لا ينقص ذلك من آثامهم شيئا. صدق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. بحمدك لا إله إلا أنت استغفرك وأتوب إليك. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه. جزاكم الله خيرا. بارك الله فيكم.